Like I said, it's truly an honor to be here.
Well, it's great to see you guys all here too, all four of you guys together. You mentioned, past, and as you mentioned the last panel that you're running off into the future. You very much are. There's no question about that. Let's start real quick first. LT, who do you think the best running back in the National Football League right now is?
I would say this man to my left is making a strong push, making his case right now. Currently, I still have to say Ty Gurley, because I haven't seen this year's version of Ty Gurley, and I haven't seen this year's version of Saquon Barkley yet. So, in my mind, Saquon is right there with another great season. He just might surpass Ty Gurley as the best running back in football.
TD, is it worthy even asking that question since Gurley went to Georgia, or do you want to?
No, it's a legit question. I mean, I get asked that question all the time, and it's difficult. But I have said, I think I agree with LT when we talk about Todd Gurley. I think for a long time, Todd's skill set, what he brings to the table, he's kind of that complete package. He has it all, and so for many years, the last 3 years, Todd Gurley was the back, but I think you said it right. Saquon is certainly somebody, if you were building a team right now today, who would be your first back taken? It'd probably be this man sitting right to my left.
Barry, what do you think?
Well, I think obviously it's only a matter of time before that distinction belongs to Saquon. I'm thinking either between, as far as the top, I would say maybe either Elliott or Lev Bell. Just because of the last 5 years of whatever production, what they've done for their team. Obviously, Gurley's in that conversation, but I would probably, if you just twisted my arm to choose a guy, one of those guys.
Okay.
Well, let's ask him who's the best back in the league. Saquon, who's the best back in the league?
Who's the best back in
Yeah.
the league?
Say it.
I think, I mean, personally, I'm gonna say myself.
There you go. Listen, as a back, listen. You have to.
Yeah.
I think everybody on this panel, that's part of being a great player. If you don't think you're the best position player in the league, you don't need to be playing the sport.
Yeah.
You don't. I've always felt when I was playing against Barry. LT came a little later. Emmitt Smith, Jerome Bettis, all the backs in this league, and I always felt that on that Sunday, no matter who was on the other side of the football, I was the best back in the league. And you have to think that. It doesn't matter what anybody else says. If you don't believe you're the best in the game, you don't need to be playing this game.
Especially when it's time to go in for negotiation.
Exactly.
That's very important.
Well,
And that brings up the conversation that is being had right now with Ezekiel Elliott. You mentioned Le'Veon Bell. We all know he hasn't played it down in over a year. And we're just hearing about the devaluation of the position, because you can get somebody 3rd, 4th, 5th round to be your bell cow straight out of college, even though we've seen the value, and we will stop talking about you like you're not here, but of Saquon being drafted number 2 overall. You seem like you want to say something.
That point, Rich, when do you get a guy that you draft later in the rounds that become generational type players? Very rarely do you get those type of players. Happened to TD, but TD, had a unique situation.
I can promise you, they didn't draft me in the 6th round thinking I was going to be who I was.
Exactly.
So if you see the player, you got to go get him. You can't wait. You can't depend on a 4th round.
What about paying him, though? About paying him the amount of money that, again, is still a fraction of what a quarterback would cost.
Right.
But
how do you justify, to me, when you pay a runner, you're paying a playmaker. I mean, the NFL want to tell us, it's a running back, and we don't know how many years, a running back falls off after 7 or 8 years. But at the time, you're paying one of the top players in the National Football, no matter the position, no matter wide receiver, left tackle, he's a major playmaker. Todd Gurley, Le'Veon, they're major playmakers for their team. So the value of the position they play shouldn't even be a factor. It should be as what he means to this team. The value that he brings to this team is up there with the quarterback and the left tackle and maybe a cornerback. That's the value of someone like Saquon Barkley.
Well, I know you're just in year 2, about to enter. Do you have a thought on this subject?
Yeah, I obviously with LaDainian and Zeke, I've been getting that question asked a lot. I'm far away from being in that position, but I kind of agree with him. Not that I kind of agree with him, I agree 100%. And I use an example with Ezekiel Elliott. I played against him 2 times a year, and my teammates that was there before me played against him 2 times a year. And I think you ask anybody in the NFL that played against the Dallas Cowboys, would you rather play the Dallas Cowboys with Zeke or without Zeke? And I think everyone knows what the answer would be. He's a very important piece of that team. No one's more important than anyone on any team, to be honest. That's how I feel. I feel like if you want to win a championship, it's not just one person. Even though one person might get most of the credit, it takes 11 people. But when it comes to paying someone, you don't just pay them because of position, you pay them to how valued they are to your team. And I think, in my personal opinion, no disrespect to anyone else on that team, I think Ezekiel Elliott is the most important piece on that team.
Well said. Well, interestingly enough, I know your schedule off the top of my head. It's my job. Week 1.
Would rather play the Dallas Cowboys without I can speak on behalf of the job.
Okay. Do you believe you will play the Dallas Cowboys without Ezekiel Elliott, as we're sitting here less than 2 weeks from that game?
That's a great question.
I only try to ask, though.
Yeah. I've been too focused in camp. I actually haven't even spoken to Zeke in a pretty long time. But from what, I don't know if you never know what's wrong or right on social media nowadays. But I thought I heard of deals coming close.
Okay.
But they want to hold out a little longer and wait on that to after week 1. I don't think the team would mind. Actually, scratch that. I would love for him to be there as a competitor.
Sure.
When you see that guy across the field. And I know, like you guys said, when you guys play against each other, you want to prove you're that best back. And what better way to do it to do on the same field?
Who was that guy when you played, Barry, that you looked across the field and you're like, okay, today's the day that I love the fact that I'm going to compete against that guy? Was there a running
I would
back?
have to say above everyone, it was Emmitt Smith. Emmitt Smith. It was just something about the Dallas Cowboys and Emmitt Smith. And he came in maybe a year after me. And so for the most rushing yards in the league, it was oftentimes, he and I were always, battling it out.
Right.
The top, 3 or 5 or whatever guys. So for me, playing against Emmitt, playing against the Cowboys, I just felt like it was high motivation.
When you've had your vision checked, have you ever had your peripheral vision checked? Have you ever, could you tell how many fingers I'm holding up right now?
Yeah, like 2.
Okay. It's very impressive. Who was the defender you wanted to avoid the most when you played? Like, okay, that guy, I know I can make people miss. I better make that guy miss. Who's that guy for you?
As far as a defender, I would probably say Reggie White was the guy that struck the most fear and was the most difficult to block. You like playing against great players, right? And so, it's sort of you understand that, yes, they are difficult to play against, but they also obviously test who you are. But the thing that was interesting about Reggie was that, always when we played them, the week of practice, you'd see the coaches taking out certain plays, taking them out of the playbook. We're not running this particular play to his side, almost just in respect for Reggie. So,
Great.
So he was probably the greatest defensive player I played against.
My peripheral vision saw you laughing at that statement about removing a play from the playbook. Like you've
Oh, yeah, that's real. Junior Seau was that guy for us. And Junior was difficult because you just didn't know where he would line up. And if you're trying to run plays, you had to run at Junior, you couldn't run away from him. Right. So that when I talk about plays you have to remove, it's like you can't run away from him. You have to try to attack him. But even then, he's disruptive because he has all the tools. He's a powerful linebacker. He can shake you. He can split double teams. He can do it all.
Try and practice in it.
You tell the story about when you was a rookie.
Yeah.
And Junior gave you the welcome to the NFL
So
moment.
my very first practice, Junior gave me the welcome to the NFL moment. And very first practice is mini camp, so you don't have on any pads. It's just helmet